Okay, guys, thanks to all for joining us. I think this is now our third Thursday webinar, and it's as long as there's demand and we have people, we see a lot of questions and comments, and this is kind of a way for us to answer much of that in this group format. So I do want to encourage people to ask questions as we're rolling through here. We're going to discuss just in terms of our format. Erwin's going to present to you some new features that he's been working on. I tease him, and you all have heard me say this, but it's now about every 24 to 48 hours. I have a new version that just blows me away with what he's adding to it. And today is no different. So we have some exciting new features for him to showcase for you. But again, ask questions as we go here. That's kind of the idea, is to make this beneficial for you guys. So with that, I guess everybody can see Erwin's screen. He's got it teed up, so I'll turn it over to you. And I'll be, Simon and I will be monitoring for questions and comments, etc. Okay. All right. With that, Erwin, it's your ball.
Sounds good, Sam. Thanks. So, yeah, just a small recap. Maybe we have some new people in here. If so, then I urge them to look at our previous webinars as well. But we are looking at the Algo Studio Pro, which is one of our newest products, and which allows you to create your own algos, backtest them, optimize them, forward test them, and eventually trade them live, of course. Today I want to look at some of the new features we've been working on, some of the ideas we have for the next versions, and of course questions from you guys. So if you have any questions, just throw them in the chat, and we will do our best to answer them. So maybe you guys saw it already this morning. We released version 1.0.16, which has some new features. So let's go over them, and let me try to explain what I did. And it's always the easiest way is to explain it with an algo. So I created a small algo, which also has some neat tricks, I guess. So on the screen you can see these bands. That's our SSL channel indicator, and you can use that alone for going long or short or trading entries. But in this case, I used it for something else, because basically my algo here is very simple. Just go long when you are above the 50 SMA, which is this white line, and short when you go below the SMA. And most of you guys already know that works pretty well if you're in a trending environment like over here. But in environments like here, when you are basically range bound or chopping, you get eaten alive with a moving SMA crossover algo. So what I did was I added a SSL channel, and I basically say, well, whenever price is within this channel, we are not going to trade. So I want to have it go outside of the channel, and then look for the above or below the SMA 50. And that's surprisingly a very good filter for filtering out chop. You can see in this period where it's just chopping around, it didn't take any trades, although price crossed that 50 SMAs several times. So if you're working on your own algos, then yeah, give it a try, and it's a nice way to filter that out. So if we look at the conditions, in this case, I just added a condition that the current bar close should be greater than the 50 bar SMA, which is, it should be above this white line or below this white line to go short. And then over here we have the SMA channel, where we basically say that it needs to be above the channel to go long or below the channel to go short. So very simple algo, but surprisingly very profitable even in choppy periods. One of the things I think we have here, which is that's the other algo which I consume. We have added is the ATM. You could already optimize for several factors like the profit factor on net profit or sharp drawdown. We added two more options, which is the Sharpe ratio and the K ratio. The Sharpe ratio is probably known by most of you, and if not, then the internet is full of descriptions with it. But the most interesting, personally, I find the K ratio. It's a lesser known way to rate your algo, to give it a number of how good your algo performs. Because if we optimize by net profit, then when we start optimizing, then we get the algo with the highest profit. But that's not necessarily the best algo to trade, because it can have high peaks and high valleys, so big drawdown. And it could be that most of the profit is made by just a few trades, and that the rest is not that good. And if you miss those trades for whatever reason, then your algo will perform very different than in the backtest. The K ratio optimization looks at a different angle. What it does is it looks at the equity curve, and it tries to make a flat line as much as possible. It tries to generate a smooth equity curve moving upwards. Of course, not too smooth. I mean, you don't want a perfect line, because we all know that's unrealistic. You should have winning and losing trades, but it tries to optimize the equity curve so that it's very smooth and not have big drawdown, big peaks or big valleys. And in the end, the net profit might be a little bit lower than just by optimizing for net profit. But you will see that your profit factor is much better, your drawdown is much better, and it's a much better algo than to trade, because you don't have to sit to a lot of drawdown, like for example here or here. So if you guys are optimizing your algos, give it a try and see how it performs on your own algos. So that's one of the new options we did add. Another thing we added is you can now force the optimizer to always use a stop loss. Sometimes the optimizer found out that the best ATM would be to have no stop loss, and that would especially happen if you have exit signals. So if there were other ways to exit your algo, so exit signals or using a trailing stop to get you out. But yeah, some people would like to always use a stop loss, so you can now force the optimizer to use that, and then it will only generate ATMs which have a stop loss. So that's the optimizer, I guess. So let's look at another example we have over here. And let's look at the nested indicators. Now, a nested indicator is something which you can do in NinjaTrader. It's not well known, but for example, I have it on the bottom of the panel, where you see just the volume indicator. I just added a volume indicator, and on that volume indicator, I added a SMA, so you can see the average volume of the volume. And the way you do that in NinjaTrader is if you go to the SMA, you can select the input series, which is by default is just the price data. But you can select an like you can see here, you can select an indicator, which I did. And in this case, I just selected the volume, and then it will generate, in this case, a moving average over the volume. So that's just one example of how you can nest indicators. And now you can also use that in the Algo Studio Pro. So what I did here, for example, is that I want to go short if there is a sudden increase in volume. So if the volume of the current bar is 2 times or more the average volume, then I want to go short on a red bar. Or if we look for a green bar, then I want to go long for a green bar. So so let me go over the algo itself, show you how you can set that up. Let's go to the logic tab. And well, you can see that for long, I just want a green bar. For short, I want a red bar. And the second condition, that's the most important here. On the left, we look at volume. So the current bar is volume. And on the right, we have the, just like before, we have chosen an SMA, a 14-period SMA. But here in the input series, which is new, if you click on there, you can now use the default, which is just price data, which it was before. Or you can select an indicator as its input series. So you can select any input indicator, fill in its settings, select a plot, and use that as in this case, the input series for the SMA itself. So on the right here, we have an SMA which has as input series the volume. On the left, we have the volume itself, and then we can just use a normal formula that the A should be bigger than 2 times B, so the volume should be bigger than 2 times the average. And yeah, you can see that that works pretty fine and pretty nice. So that's the nested indicators, and of course, this is just an example about moving average over volume. But yeah, you can imagine that there's with all the indicators out there, there's a lot of options you can choose and use this for. Another option would, for example, be our divergence indicator, which also uses nested indicators to detect divergence between price and an oscillator. That would be another thing you could now use. So that's the nested indicators. What else do we have? Oh, one more thing we now have on the exit signals. The exit signals, as most of you know, determine when a trade will be closed. And now we have a new exit signal option. Where you can say that, let me see, the number of bars the trade is open. So that's the number of bars you are in a trade. You can use that to exit the trade. So you can say, well, in this case, if I'm 5 bars in a trade, I want to close it. And that sounds little bit random, but lots of quants use this to exit their trades. It prevents you from being in a trade very long, especially in sideways markets, and missing potential new entries for so that's one of the new things we added. What else do we have? Let's see.
It's new there that they're the at least, although I think you may have touched on that last time.
Yeah, that's another thing as well. Yeah, good. So that's another option we added, and that's for both the entry and the exits. Until now, if I go to the designer, because probably the easiest way to explain it, we had the AND and the OR option. And if this was an AND, then basically all the signals connected to the left should be valid for it to produce a long or short trade. So all these signals should be valid. If you choose OR, it would be the opposite. So any of these signals should be valid, just 1 or 2, it doesn't matter. As long as 1 is valid, it produces a long or short trade. And now we have also the at least option. And if you specify that or select that, you can specify the minimum number of signals you want to have. So if you have, for example, 5 signals here, you could say, well, I want at least 3 signals to be valid. It doesn't matter which 3, but I want 3 of them to be valid in order to produce a long or short signal. That was one of the requests users had, so we did add that as well. And finally, there is one thing we added, and it's more that when you add a order flow based indicator, then previously it didn't seem to work, but it actually did if you pressed F5, which is needed for because of internal NinjaTrader stuff. So now you get a warning if you, for example, include a footprint indicator in your algo. It will warn you that you have to press F5 once to get it to work. So that's just so you don't forget. So that's, I think, the new things we added in the version 16. And now I would like to present Ray Meeks. For those of you who don't know Ray, he's one of our customers from the beginning, and he surprised all of us by not only producing a profitable algo within a few days, but he also is live trading his algos in with NinjaTrader using the Algo Studio Pro. And he has come up with a very nice methodical way to develop his algos, test them, and yeah. So that's why we invited him. And Ray, if you are there.
Yeah, I'm here.
You're here. So yeah, just I guess many people would like to know you a little bit better, and because most of them are probably at the start of their own algo trading, and you are already way ahead of them. So it would be nice if you could share some of your experiences, how you got into algo trading, maybe, and how you found the Algo Studio Pro, and what are your first experiences with it?
Yeah, so obviously I've owned some of your guys' indicators already, the footprint indicator and the other auto trader you had. So I've I do develop my own indicators on TradingView, and I've liked your guys' indicators for NinjaTrader. So when it comes to NinjaTrader, I've used your stuff and liked it. So when I seen you had the Algo builder, I definitely jumped on that, because in the past I've tried to build my own algos with Ninja script and stuff, and I personally completely failed at that. So seeing this, I noticed that it was going to be super easy to do what I would want to do. And yeah, so I jumped on it and been playing with it so far for a bit, and it's definitely been an awesome product to own already. So just the ATM optimizer, the builder, just the simplicity of it has been really great so far. So yeah, that's my experience so far with it.
And you're trading your algos live at the moment?
Yeah, I have, some, as most people would probably, trade prop firms. So yeah, I'm trading some on some of the eval accounts.
Okay.
Just a simple, they're just simple algos, but they seem to perform so far. So which has been surprising, because most people think you have to build like super complicated algo. Trading needs to be really complicated, but really it's the Algo Studio makes it pretty simple and easy to back test, so you can figure out what the best ATM or the best when you should get out of the trade quickly. So with the ATM optimizer, that's like one of the best things you have in there. So I've enjoyed that so far. It's helped me optimize just as simple as strategy, optimize it to actually be profitable and not just sit there in the trade forever and end up losing.
And I notice you have a particular method in which you go to from the idea of creating a algo to the final trading. Could you maybe tell us a little bit more about you do that?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just look for something that I notice that maybe the price goes in a specific direction when XYZ happens, maybe just like a moving average cross or, just uh, a simple one-step thing. So if I find that, I'll put the algo in for that. I'll optimize it with the ATM optimizer. Then I throw it into the actual NinjaTrader strategy analyzer, and I'll analyze it based on the data series. So maybe if I'm on, for example, the one I just shared in the Discord recently, I had a 1,000 volume chart. Then I noticed, well, maybe the 500 volume chart might be a little better. So I'll drop it in there and just analyze the data series from like, what if I went on a 500 chart, a 600 chart, a 700, 800, 900, 1,000, and I just let it do that and see which one comes out the best. Then I'll move to that particular chart and then optimize it based off of the time frame and days, based off the reports that Algo Studio puts out. So that's very handy as well. Like it'll show you the best days to trade, the best time frames to trade. So
this is one of your algos you posted for those who didn't see it. So I found it very interesting because not many people would come up with the idea to also optimize your algo based on the data series. But do you find that some data series perform significantly better or worse than others? And for how much data do you optimize them? For how many days, for example?
I usually do about a month. So I'll start with the Algo Studio for about maybe 10 days to 14 days. So the recent price action, kind of build that, and then when I put it in the NinjaTrader strategy analyzer, I do for at least a month and make sure that I have all that data downloaded and everything within NinjaTrader. So that's how I optimize. Yeah, and you'll find that particular data series are going to work way better, and some are going to be horrible. And some of the time I found the one that I thought was going to be the best was actually the worst one. So that helps quite a bit, and it makes it really fast to quickly build a strategy, find out, is this going to work, is this not going to work, what happens if I add this, does that help it? So yeah, the ATM optimizer has helped quite a bit, because in the past that would have took absolutely forever to try to build your own strategy and optimize the ATM. It would have been months of work instead of 5 minutes of clicking start and letting it optimize it for you.
And that was our whole idea when we started with the ATM optimizer, because I personally believe it will be very hard to create an algo which will make money for the next 10 years. But I do believe that if you have an algo which produced a nice profit for the last 20 days, that it will produce good money in the next few days. And if you can optimize your algo maybe 2 or 3 times a week to accommodate new market changes, then you keep up to date with the market, and your algo adapts to the markets. Do you find this as well, or do you just
Yeah,
optimize it once and
no,
trade it for?
I build the strategies I build, like I'll leave specific things in the logic unchecked and checked. So I can quickly go in and say, you know, if I want to update my strategy real quick, I can click that and see, all right, well, now is the recent price action doing better with this filter in? Should I take this filter out? So I'll have quite a bit of logic in there that will be enabled, and some of it will be disabled so that I can quickly adapt to the market, right? So if I notice like we're getting a choppy day, well, maybe I'll put a better filter in there for filtering out the chop. If it's a trending day, well, then maybe I'll just turn that chop filter off and let the market trend. So yeah, I'll build quite a bit of logic in there just to adapt the strategy, and maybe I'll change the chart, right? So I'll build it for the volume chart, for example. Well, maybe it's going to be better on the higher volume chart at specific times, and maybe it's going to be better on a little bit lower volume chart at specific times. So you can quickly adapt that.
So is that a manual process?
Hører du meg?
Sorry guys, I'm going to mute you. Please ask the questions in the chat and we will come to them in a few minutes. Yeah, so very interesting way. And about the backtesting and the backtesting in both the Algo Studio Pro and also the strategy analyzer from NinjaTrader. Did you find that they match, and do they also match your live trading results, or what's your experience with that?
So with the recent betas, some of them matched, some of them didn't, but I think I did report some bug to you. I think you may have fixed it. I haven't checked recently. I just downloaded the newest update. So what I've been doing to verify lately is I'll download the market replay data, and then I'll just put it on mine trade at specific times of the day. So I'll start my day around the time it should start trading, and I just leave it on 1x speed and just let it run for hours on the VPS, and then come back and check the results. So those results matched up with what Algo Studio was putting out. The last beta, I think it was beta 3 I was on when I did that, and the NinjaTrader results were completely different at that time. So not sure what happened there, but it was kind of a more complicated multi-time frame checking. So I'm not sure if that messed it up or not, but some of the other ones have matched pretty close as well that I've tested when I first started.
One of the reasons I'm was asking that, because it's the strategy analyzer in NinjaTrader has been known to be not as good, and many people indeed verify their performance with the market replay. And I have been in discussion with this with NinjaTrader, and even opened a ticket I can show you here, where we go over this in very detail, because I think the strategy analyzer contains bug, and I made videos for them and explained exactly what I think is it's doing wrong. But we're still in discussion with them. So I hope on one end that they can fix that bug and improve the strategy analyzer. But it's good to hear that in most cases the results you see in the Algo Studio match up the market replay and the live experience you have. We are always trying to improve the accuracy. But yeah, in the end, there will, and I want to make this clear, there will always be little differences just because of the order fill and the slippage. And in the markets you have been are trading. I've seen people trading a 15 range chart on NQ and trying to have a trailing stop of 3 ticks. Your computer is never going to manage to handle that because NQ is too volatile. So, but it's good to hear that at least in market replay and in live conditions they match pretty good. And let's hope the strategy analyzer gets better and better as well. Although most of the cases it matches also very nice, but not always. What would you say was, because we can talk about all the good things, but I'm sure people would also like to hear about the bad things. So what do you think should be improved at the moment in the Algo Studio Pro? And I know I'm taking a big risk here, but take your chance.
That's one thing I like about you guys is you take the feedback from the community and we'll report bugs and you'll jump on those. So one thing I would like to see is possibly, I know we have the day of week in the strategy to turn them on and off. But if it's possible to put it within the logic for the builder, that would be nice, because maybe on Monday I only want to trade between 8 and 10, and on Tuesday I want to trade end of day. That would be nice to put in there, because then you could filter out even more.
Yeah, that's on the list, by the way, to add for one of the next versions.
Okay. Possibly another thing that would be kind of nice is, if I'm sitting there watching my strategy and I happen to turn off longs or shorts, and then I decide, well, maybe I do want to get in to the long or short now, just a button like a long, short, long now, short now button would be good, just to manually enter the trade.
Yeah, that's for the strategy itself, I guess. Yeah.
For the strategy, yeah. Also, another one I was thinking is within the strategy settings, possibly having a trail now, like trailing setting. So if I decided the market was kind of overbought or oversold real quick, and I just wanted to have my own trailing stop setting that I can adjust within the strategy, and just click the button that says trail now, and it would just move my position to start trailing the market real quick. That would be nice. So a lot of discretionary stuff is kind of something I would like to see, besides just the all auto. If the trader's sitting there and want to discretionarily decide to quickly do something, it would be nice just to have one button that just kind of does what I want it to do at that moment.
Basically, if you want to mix a little bit, if you want to mix a little bit, like have auto trader and maybe mess with your trades, or
let
manually
the auto trader enter.
Okay, makes sense.
Manually move the stops. I did have that one I showed where if you do manually move the stop, that if an auto trail hits, it would move the stop backwards. So keeping wherever you manually move your stuff to not move unless it the price goes more in your favor.
So makes sense. I think that also brings us to the one of the next topics, which is one of the features we're looking at to add for the next version. The day of week was already on my list, and to allow you to move your stop manually was on my list. I will see if I can also do the manual buy sell things. But one of the other things, and I think this will make a lot of people happy, is that we are looking into the option to give everyone who has bought the Algo Studio a second license for free for the strategy, so that you can use one computer to design your algo, and use one or two other computers to let it auto trade. So that's what we are looking into. That's a little bit of work on our side because our entire licensing system cannot handle this at the moment. So we need to fix that first. But then everybody who has bought it will get automatically a second license for the strategy. And we will also be looking at ways to sell the strategy separate for those who want maybe to buy a third or fourth license even. So that's one of the things we are currently looking at. And then the things you mentioned. And yeah, I hope to hear something from NinjaTrader about the backtest performance. Would be nice if we can improve that even more. And then for the rest, I think we again are going to listen to the community because you guys have a never-ending supply of ideas. So, and with ideas, let's go quickly over some of the questions. I'll start at the start. Is it possible to filter out a specific day? Not yet with the indicator, but that's one of the things we will add. How would you
replied to quite a few of the questions, Owen?
Oh,
Just
you
in
already
chat
did.
and-
Oh,
yeah,
great.
just in
So,
chat, just where I could. So,
okay.
I've
So,
covered that
what
one off,
questions
I
are
think.
left then, Simon? That's maybe easier. Then.
Right. The last one I see is there a trade manager feature like Blackbird, or is the order
Okay,
type
that's a new one,
limited to
yeah.
basic Ninja ATM orders?
Oh, there is. You can see it on my screen. There is a trade manager feature. We call it the ATM, which allows you to set up complicated ATMs using multiple positions, add skill ins if you want. You can add trailing stop, move to break even, targets. So that's all there. I'm not sure if it's comparable with Blackbird because I'm not well known with Blackbird. But there is a lot in there. And we also have the option to create your own exit signals. So not only entry signals from where should I open a trade, but also where should I close a trade. And that can use indicators or price or volume or whatever you want. You can use that to exit your trade. And that way you can also use it to create your own trailing stops. If you have some specific indicator you want to use to trail your stop, then that could be made with exit signals. And with the default, you can just trail your stop already by ticks, risk to reward, ATR, the previous bar. So there's quite a few options here for your trailing stops and your break even as well. Yeah. So there is a trade manager feature, but I'm not sure how it compares with Blackbirds because I just don't know the product that well.
That's pretty full featured.
It's pretty full featured, yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of the things where I was expecting a lot of feature requests, but so far nobody asked any features for the ATM, so it's probably more than sufficient for our current customers. Yeah.
I have a question about the limit order. I have not tried that yet. So how does limit order decide when to cancel the order? How does it invalidate the limit?
Yeah. Good question. The limit order, basically, let me zoom in a little bit to tell you what it does. So let's see where it would open a trade. So let's see. For example, let's pick this trade right here. Let's zoom in a little bit. So let's say we open a long trade here. And with the market order, it's simple. I mean, as soon as this candle with this red vertical stripe closes, we open a market and it's a market order to go long. With a limit order, you can tell it where it should open an order. So you could say, well, I don't want it exactly at the open. Maybe I want to open it right here, a few ticks lower. It will then place a limit order right there. And if price hits the limit order, then you're in the trade. If the price does not hit your limit order within one bar, the limit order will be cancelled. So in this case, it should have hit your limit order in this red candle. And if not, the trade would have been cancelled. So within 1 bar, the limit order should have been hit.
Oh, is that a feature we can add, like wait X number of bars for limit orders within the?
Yeah, the moment I was explaining this, I was already thinking, oh, yeah.
I know you have to recreate the limit order on every bar in NinjaScript. I know that.
No. The limit order can stay, but we at the moment we just said 1 bar. But yeah, if there is if people would want to have that more bars, then we can add that. Yeah, sure, that's no problem.
Okay.
Yeah, that might be one of the features we can add. Any more questions, guys?
I think we got. I don't see any. I think we've got everybody covered here. Can anyone recommend a good VPS? I don't think we got that one. In Chicago, what price range are you looking for? Okay, so there's Paulie's answering that, right? So that maybe you guys could take that offline. Chart VPS is a good one. There you go. Oh, you got an answer, right? Look at the community coming through. Yeah, a lot of it is you got to get it, work with it, play with it. You know, then right next Thursday, which I think we'll continue with this. Come back with some questions. What's your experience? Right, as you'll find, we are very responsive to the requests that people are making. That's where we get some of our best ideas, right? So by all means, trial it, use it, test it. I mean, that's the reason we do that. And then you make a very informed decision whether or not it's a good fit for you. One other thing that I've been doing just kind of to circle back to the discussion of multiple licenses for strategies. Keep in mind, you don't have to auto trade it. So you can have ASP on your chart, as I do on many of mine, and then make a decision. It's going to fire the signal. You're going to see the entry signal. You may or may not want it. So that's a way to kind of interact with it, have it the precision of those signals firing. But you know, for those of you who'd like to be a little more hands-on, or there are times if it's an indicator-based algo where all the conditions are going to meet, but it might not be at a level on the board that you're interested in being long or short. I mean, it could be the IB low or the, you know, a golden zone. It's some reason you're like, oh, well, all the conditions are there, but I don't really want to take that short. Now, if you're just standing back, letting the auto trader take it, you're going to be in a short. So that's a way to interact with it, have it running, see those conditions, but perhaps get a little bit more hands-on with it rather than just let it do what it's going to do. It's just, and you can turn it on and off. That's how I do it. Sometimes I just let it run. Sometimes I turn it off and try and make that decision as the head trader of my own trading department, whether I want that trade or not. Just something to think about.
Good point. The Algo Studio can indeed also be used for hybrid trading, where you don't auto trade 100% automatically, but are involved and just use it to get into a trade whenever you think the market conditions are correct, and maybe pause it when you say it's not the correct time to enter, or you.
Yeah, that's how I use it.
Yeah. So, good point.
All right. Do we got any other questions here? Let's see. I think we got everybody. All right. Well, how are we doing on time? Well, that's good. That's 45 minutes. It's about right. This will be, we will post, as we do all of these webinars, we'll post it on our YouTube channel for any that couldn't attend. Or if you wanted to review this, we are pretty regularly posting templates in the VIP channel for those that have made the purchase. I would suspect Erwin will post that SSL, or that is an SSL, isn't it? We'll have that posted SSL, for people to try that. That's how you learn. Look at others that have been created. I mean, I learned a lot from Erwin's pullback video, his algo and how he set it up. And it's so simple. You're like, oh, well, okay, well, that gives me something to run with. So that's, I think we'll just cut the learning curve down a bit. Is just look at some other algos, how they're designed. Of course, Ray Meeks has been very generous sharing what he's been doing.
Yeah.
So with that, I think that we'll wrap there.
Maybe I see one more question in the comments.
One new message.
And that was somebody asking what is wrong with the strategy analyzer from NinjaTrader. and I already explained that I'm in discussion with NinjaTrader, sent a couple of emails to them, made a video, and here's the video. You can see it's on YouTube. It's private because I just sent it to NinjaTrader. But here I'm opening a trade on bar 472. You can see it in the log, current bar 472. I send them all the debug info, all the code, etc. And what a NinjaTrader strategy analyzer does, it's opening it on bar 471. So it's opening it on a completely wrong bar. And that influences the backtest results enormously. Because, and it doesn't do this for every trade, by the way, but these things happen over when you are testing over hundreds of trades. But if this one ends up in a big loser, then it might affect your results in a big time, just because it's opening one bar earlier at another price. If this was a short, it might be okay. But if this was a long, you're now opening at a higher price than you would open here. So yeah, that's what I'm in discussion with NinjaTrader. Okay, I guess that's it then. If there's no more questions,
I got one more here. Can you create a feature that exports your strategy to Ninja script? That way it gets more as it gets more complex, you can switch from visual to code.
Yeah, there's no plans to do this because it's for a very limited amount of people who are able to code Ninja script, and this product is made for people who don't know how to code, but do have good ideas on how to create algos, how to trade, and just want to create an algo which works. So there's little chance we are going to export it to Ninja script, but you can live trade it with our strategy, and yeah, that should be enough, I guess, for most people. Somebody else is asking, would you be able to give us the top 10 strategies? Well, if you are in a Discord, I'm not sure if you're in there, we have a Algo template 3 channel in which we post our algos. You can see one here, pullback. I just posted another one here today.
Yeah, that's the one right there.
Yeah, so those are the algos we provide. Then there's also the VIP channel, and that's for customers only, where we and customers post their algos. So Ray, as you see, posted this one, and there's lots of more.
Yeah, I think what he's asking though, Erwin, is not the top 10 optimized strategies. What he's asking for is if we do an optimization, can we get multiple returns back, like top 4, 5, 10, maybe too many, right? But could we get the top 5 results and their data? Because it might be, oh, this one's got better net profit, but this one has a much lower drawdown, and this one has a much better, Sharpe ratio, or whatever. I think that's what he's after.
Yeah, exactly. So if you now optimize, and I'm just optimizing right here now at the moment. And if it's done, you want the list of the top 10 best strategies.
Yeah, 10 might be too many.
Yeah, okay, it doesn't matter, but that's a very good suggestion, and we'll definitely look into that. Yeah,
good suggestion. See, right there it is in real time, suggestions, and it hits the list. So, okay, let's wrap it there, guys. Okay, thanks to all that joined us. Ray, thanks for your contributions. Thanks for all the Q&A. Again, we really pay attention to what you guys are looking for, and if we can do it, we will try to. Again, this will be on our YouTube channel, so check that if you want to refer back to it or have questions. Of course, our Discord is totally free to join us. That's a good place to, well, you'll see everything we have going on. Okay, with that, I'll thank you guys and wish you all a good afternoon. And with that, I think we're on schedule. We'll host another one next Thursday. Okay, guys, have a good one.
Bye, guys.